Editor note, I did not realize that my micro is not recording for this entire video, so this is going to be a voiceover for the continuation of the episode. I'll do my best with this, but it's not a style I have tried, so let me know if you like this style, and we can definitely try it out more if you guys enjoy it. If not, I totally get it, and we'll keep the same as normal, but yeah, it's kind of what's going on here, so it may not seem as authentic, but I will do my best, so I hope you enjoy. Welcome back, everybody, to the Unrivaled Projectile F1 My Team career mode, as we are going to Azerbaijan slash Baku for this race. So moving along here, getting into the activities, just taking a look around at them and going through and selecting some of them here, and then I'm realizing as I'm going through these that we have plenty of free time, as you can see there. So we're just going to go ahead and do all of them. The departments are going to take a bit of a hit here, but there is plenty of time, so we might as well do all of them. Getting our first secondary sponsor, and looking at this first one, completing all practice programs is something that we do pretty regularly. So taking a good hard look at that, it's likely going to be our best option. It gives us a good goal bonus as well as weekly income. Not the best by any means, but for where we're at in the career mode at the moment, it is probably our best option. As you can see there, I'm kind of looking through some other options. That one doesn't give us as good of a payout, even though we could definitely do that one. We don't have a rival yet, so we do go up to initial sponsor that's shown there, and we're going to go ahead and sign them. Then we go over to the R&D side of things. As we advance them, because we do not have enough resource points to do anything at the moment. But we are sitting in 4th there overall, or 8th, sorry, not 4th overall in terms of points. Personnel department pop up here. We go ahead into the event, and the software upgrade that we had to make earlier in the career mode has paid off, and we get 500 resource points from it. So pretty big deal there. It allows us to be able to get into some R&D stuff sooner, and as we go over here, let's see here. Yeah, looking, the air department is now up to spec 1, and we are getting close to having enough to upgrade the powertrain department up to spec 1 as well, but we're going to wait and do that till we have just a little bit more money there. With 958 resource points in the bank there, we're kind of going to take a look at our options here. It's recommending that we go with a chassis upgrade. However, we're double checking that we already have developments in both the powertrain and the aero departments, which we do. And we decide to hold off for now on any of those upgrades. And it's a good thing that we do, because we have a part that fails here. So we go ahead and jump over to the R&D screen to get that restarted. It is a major part that has failed, so it's still going to cost us 550 resource points. but we'll be in time for Baku. So we have 400 resource points left. That took quite a hit into what we thought was going to be a good amount there, and so we'll just have to move on. And we have another development that has failed here in the beginning of this episode, and I'm not sure if you guys saw it there. We were actually second to last in terms of arrow right there. I had not noticed this at the time of recording, but now having to go back through, I do see that now. So we got some parts that come through, and we've got another event for the personnel department. So we go ahead and head to the event here soon. I do apologize if I sound a little sick. I'm battling a little cold right now. We have the option of either giving our teammate some, I believe that's race pace or experience, and I believe we do go with the experience there. Thought that might be able to help him out a little bit in race time, makes some better decisions in terms of strategy and stuff like that. And we are going to go ahead and make the purchase for quality control and the powertrain department. That'll get that up to spec 1, especially following those failed parts, a much needed upgrade to that department there. So the rest of the parts come in, no issues, leaving us with 430 resource points. And we are back up to 8th here in the standings in terms of performance. And we go ahead and take a look at our options in the aero department. We have quite a few upgrades. Well, we've got 3 there within the aerodynamics page, that Halo being a big one. Then we've got a couple here in the chassis side of things. Another 3 there, so 6 total. Another major upgrade that we can do there, and another major upgrade that we can do within the powertrain. 2 actually. So 9 total upgrades, and 4 of those being major upgrades that we can do. Definitely going to need to save some R&D points to be able to do that. So moving on to the Pirelli Hot Lap event, and that was kind of foreshadowing to what we didn't practice. I'm not going to show practice for this video, just because that'd be kind of awkward to try to voice over, but will be in future episodes, as I have figured out the problem with the mic. I know why it didn't record, and it should be all good for the future. So failed it on our first attempt, but we do get 3 shots at these Pirelli hot lap events. Going to move on to lap 2, making sure to brake it a little bit earlier into this first corner, which enters the castle section of the track. A little bit better with the shifting, and overall getting the car through the corner, and going through these corners, not laps. A lot cleaner this run. Still have the car on the very edge. Definitely handles much different than the F1 cars do, but we fail it again, off by only about 0.4 of a mile an hour there on average, but no good there. So we're going to give it the 3rd attempt, try to be as smooth as possible. So we really drive in deep there, bounce off the wall. Hopefully not too bad there. We're aggressive into those very tight turns, against the wall a little bit again, and at this point my force feedback on the wheel had done a bit of a glitch, which I fixed after going through this event. As you can see there, it wasn't quite enough to be able to get even the bronze on this particular event. So that was just a flash into what was going to really be the overall race weekend. We had a couple crashes in the practice sessions, which we just restarted the session for, and struggled to complete the practice programs. However, it is a sprint weekend, so we have practice and then qualifying, and then a second practice after qualifying. So we go into this qualifying lap in the hopes that we can hopefully make it to Q2, but realistically knowing that it's not going to be possible, and we're just going to end up in last. So have a decent first corner here as we go around the first few corners. A little late on the DRS there, but not too bad. And we were also starting to, though we haven't heard from anybody yet, have some engine and gearbox issues. You can kind of see the little icon there down in the lower right, as that is what was going on. But first sector did pretty well there, making sure to brake super early going into that castle section. Most dangerous part of the track in my opinion. We make it through pretty cleanly there, much cleaner than we had been in practice, just being nice and smooth with it, making sure to brake a little bit early there, and we still hit the wall a little bit. And for the rest of the lap, not much happens really. The highest speed corners, you can see that we got into a little bit late, but not a terrible corner there. And going down the back straight here, or what I'm calling the back straight, calling the other one the front straight. We sit in P9. We go ahead and return to the garage to see where we end up overall. Pull up the rankings, the placement order for the track, and we scroll down, and we are the slowest of the cars that have gone so far. So and we're still 4/10 off our teammate there. These guys start post laps as we fast forward, and we're sitting in 22nd after qualifying, and knew a better lap really wasn't likely to happen, so we just sat with it and kind of bait our time, knowing that we weren't going to be able to do anything there. Just kind of accepted it, and not worth damaging the car. So moving on to practice 2 now, going to the quick practice, and we had completed most of our development boost there, but then we still had to complete the greens on 2 different practice programs. We're not able to achieve purples on them, so as you can see here, we're going to back out And we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one. That gets us that sponsor bonus, I do believe, from the beginning of the episode. And we do also get another, we get the purple on the tire management one, and we are all out of goals that we can try to achieve there. And you can see there, getting a decent chunk of resource points, and we get some extra discounts on some of the pending upgrades that we need to do later at some point, and huge claim gains there, as that's what helps us be able to sign more sponsors, which helps us be able to upgrade those departments and lower our build times, quality control, stuff like that. So little chance of rain towards the end of the sprint, but not likely to have anything too important. And sprint is only 4 laps, so we go ahead and head into that, and I'll let them take it away.
Forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint.
And here they don't talk because it's just a sprint for whatever reason. So you can kind of see the track layout there. Really tight towards the center, and then 2 big long loops on the ends. I'll let them take it away.
Grid order for today's exciting sprint. What a qualifying yesterday for George Russell. He'll start today's race from pole position, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Albon, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Stroll, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Joe, Sargent, Bottas, Fittipaldi, and the owner driver rounds off the grid. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
So we move into the pre-race. No pit stops here, and nothing we can do with stops. We go ahead and jump into the race. And really long red lights there, and we get away quite well there. Make a little bit of contact with Bottas there, and take a dive down the inside, gain some positions there. But as you heard there, the internal combustion engine, or the ICE, is worn, and we're dealing with less power this race. But we'll move on. And I've kind of made up my mind at this point. If it fails in the sprint, then we'll go ahead and replace everything before the race. If not, then we will just take parts into the next race, and we take a nice dive back there at Stroll and gain another position. So finally getting some decent racing around some other cars, making sure to take it nice and easy into this section here. And for the most part, my goal was really just to survive at this point. We were already up 7 positions, and knew that there wasn't much that we were going to be able to do, especially with the worn engine components. So we were just going to not crash and try to hang on to as many places as we could there. So Stroll goes to our outside already on the high speed corners, falls back in line, but uses his slipstream to try to take a move, as Magnussen is also looking to the outside, and it's going to be almost 3 wide into turn 1. But Stroll backs out. Decent corner from us there. We kind of pushed Magnussen out, but we did have the corner there. And now we are also experiencing some gearbox issues. So no good there. And likely it'd be wise to just go ahead and replace some of these parts. As we know we've had problems in the past with being able to actually race in the races, but like I said earlier, if we fall behind in this race, then we'll go ahead and replace those. Otherwise, I was just going to keep on and keep the place. So we had a little bit of contact again into this little castle section here, but all is good. And no issues really from the gearbox yet. But we do have that warning on the wear. And Magnussen took a good look, came down into that corner, but nothing resulted from it. We get into the curb there and really unsettled the car. And Magnussen is all over the back of us. We take not the best angle into the high-speed corners, and Magnussen's going to have a huge run on us here. We go to the inside to try to fend him off, but Stroll's going to go to our inside, and it's going to be 3 wide down into turn 1. We try to brake as late as possible, and a little bit of contact there, and a little bit of pushing on Magnussen, but we were sticking with Stroll. We try to take her on the outside, and no can do. We have DRS though, going into the straight with the slipstream. Stroll goes to the inside. We make a bit of contact there and downshift very aggressively, but we are able to make it stick on the outside, sign us up for the inside there, and we get the position back. Stilson and P15 for our starting place for the race. But we've got lots of hungry drivers behind us, so sure to downshift early into that corner. And again here, as it's important to, I found it was easier to go through there in second gear rather than third gear. We miss a shift there. Not gearbox issues, but just a missed shift by us through that corner. Again, get on the brakes early, and we're starting to form a little bit of a gap to Stroll, but nothing to be excited about. He's simply just not on our bumper like he was before. So our best set through those high-speed corners so far in the sprint, we go to the defensive line again, let Stroll, who has DRS, past us, and we drop back into the slipstream and try to make a move late into the corner, but with Magnussen there, no can do. And we try to stick with Stroll here, coming out of the corner, but snap of oversteer, and Stroll is out of reach at this point. No way we can try to send it into the corner that deep. We take quite the lunge there, but no can do. So we'll move on and try to fend for P16, as it is the last lap of the sprint, going into the beginnings of the castle section. A little bit of weaving there, and really not worried about the how the car is handling over those curves, as long as we stay in front of the guys. Take it really wide there and almost get into the barrier, but we kept it off. Was really on the brakes through there to try to get it slowed down. I think a downshift at the last second is what saved us. So we go into this corner here. I really need to learn the names of the different corners, but I have not. As I'm just getting into F1, though I do quite enjoy the racing that it produces. And Max Verstappen is the winner of the sprint, putting him on pole for Baku. And we're going to try to defend in this last straight against Magnussen. They've been quite a bit faster than us. Down the front straight, it's going to be race to the line. And we end up starting in P17. So, overall, up 5 spots in the sprint. And did pretty well there. We will have those issues still going into the race, but it shouldn't be too bad, I don't think. So,
let's have a look.
So we move through here.
Max Verstappen should be pleased with his performance.
Through the standings, you can kind of see there. Verstappen, Leclerc, Russell, Norris. Russell and Norris both dropped 2 places from the start, while Verstappen goes up 3, Leclerc up 2, and then everyone else except Yuki Tsunoda and then some of the back markers stayed where they were at. So we're going to go ahead and head to the race, and I'll let the guys take it away. Not any chance for rain.
And a
all
warm
good
welcome
there.
to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku, and home, of course, to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners, and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today. So our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes, and hopefully out of the barriers. The Baku city circuit measures roughly 6 kilometers, and it's made up of 20 corners and 2 DRS zones. The circuit winds around the narrow city, through the old town, and even brushes against the city's medieval walls. However, as beautiful as the setting is, this track is also a ferocious technical challenge, where the smallest of mistakes could lead to a catastrophic consequence for any one of our drivers. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Norris, Hamilton, Perez, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Albon, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Tsunoda, Stroll, Magnussen, Oscar Piastri, Ricciardo, Bottas, Fittipaldi, Joe, and Logan Sargent. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. It's just about time to go down to the track for the beginning of the race, but before we do, Anthony Davidson, what types of strategy do you think we can expect for today's event?
Well, there's a lot that both the driver and the team have to keep in mind when going into a race. The tyres, fuel, energy recovery systems, the list goes on and on. But I think the key to today's victory will come down to the pit stop strategy. Come in too soon, and you might find yourself needing more than one stop. Too late, and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by spending longer on worn tyres.
Alrighty, so don't know why the race intro messed up there, but we go into the strategy, kind of debated here on where to go, switching those to the personalized results that we got from our practice sessions, and I finally decided to go, I believe, with the medium to soft, but I've not chosen. There we go. We do make that decision, as we're going to be dry the whole way, and I didn't really see any benefit to moving to the soft or to the hard tire. So get up to rev and short green light, a little bit behind there in reaction. Really short light compared to the sprint. Dive down into the first corner quite far. Made some contact, more contact there with Hulkenberg as we take a dive up the inside and turn 2. And now I don't think we can touch Albon in that Williams. Much too far up the road, and this track was just a struggle for us. So already we're thinking the strategy of park the bus, also known as the car, in front of everybody, and just take up as much room as possible. So we're just kind of running at our own pace and seeing how we can do. We are trying to chase down Albon just a little bit through this castle section, but as you can see there, we're not making up any time. Again, we're still dealing with those IC and gearbox issues, and we get into the curb there a little bit, but not into the wall, which is fortunate. And overall, the first lap was quite a huge success. We were up 6 spots from our starting position and nearly smacked the wall there, but we are okay. Moving on, Hulkenberg takes a good run at us, and just with where we were positioned on the track, he could not take a dive at us. Good first corner for defending. And again, that gearbox wear warning has popped up again. So yeah, with Albon pulling away from us and a line of angry cars behind us, we get into turn 3 a little bit deep, but we are okay. Same thing with turn 4, into it a little bit deep, but not too bad. And let's see here. Not a bad set of corners there. Again, just trying to keep everybody set behind us and take care of the car. That was the main priority, is just to keep the car in one piece so that we could try to stay at the front as long as possible. So made a little bit of contact with the wall there back in the castle section, and Hulkenberg takes a dive at us down into that corner, and it's already very tight, but we were able to hold him off. He definitely didn't have the best line there, so we were able to go around the outside, and at this point I was wondering if he had a little bit of damage, but it did not look like it. Once he's starting to make a run at us down this back straight, make sure to tuck in right behind him after he overtakes us, and we're taking a look down the inside of him now, and we get the move done, and even slow him up a little bit there, which I'm not exactly sure how, but we are okay. Going through turn 2 there, rocketing down towards turn 3, and Hulkenberg really isn't able to do anything there. Again, we stacked him up quite well in turn 1, so it takes him a little bit to get back up at us, but if you look at the mini-map down there, there is quite the line of cars stuck behind us, but there's really nowhere for them to pass us except down into turns 1 or 3. So get to the curb there more than I would have liked, but we keep going, and no threat from Hulkenberg going down into that corner this time. Again, the curb just a little bit, but not too bad. And overdrove that corner a little bit. That's going to maybe open up the door for Hulkenberg as we go down this back straight, as he's going to have a much better run than us. Even in the corners, he was looking to make a move. We tuck in behind Hulkenberg again as Stroll goes to take a look. We take a look down the inside of Hulkenberg, but cannot find a gap there. We're going to take another look down into 2, nothing there. And we didn't get the DRS opened up right away there, so Hulkenberg is going to just pull away. And we took way too much of a risk there, and we damaged our wing in the process, so no good there. And at this point I'm debating on whether it's worth it to pit or not, because it really only hurts us on the high speed corners. So we have the new strategy available to us, and we way overdrive into the castle section again. Thankfully saved the car, only a slight bit of contact there. But as you can see, with those right-handers, we are starting to struggle with that broken wing. So the left-handers aren't too bad. Stroll's right on us. Make sure to brake super early into that corner, not to make any mistakes. A little late on our shifts there, and going into the high speed where we know we're going to be bad. We're hurrying on the ICE as well as with the front wing, and we have to lift, and we make some contact there. Somehow keep Stroll behind us, though we did make a little bit of contact. Stroll takes a look to the outside of us, and Yuki Tsunoda looks down the inside of us. We brake super late, and it's going to be too far, and we get spun trying to re-enter the track, therefore dashing our hopes at a good finish. I took too much of a risk trying to make it happen, keep those spots down into turn 1, and it did not pay off. So now we are looking at the car there, and we completely destroy our front wing going into turn 3. I'm not sure if that virtual safety car is for us having that broken wing, or if it's for something that happened further up the road. But we were trying to have a pit stop this lap. I do believe that was my plan, as we go through this castle section really slowly there, and we do make the change to hard so we can go the rest of the race on a compound. And we are boxing this lap. At first it gives us our last lap time. Again, trying to multitask, and it's not going too well here. Making sure to lift plenty through the high speed corners, as we have no front wing currently, and we are now boxing this lap.
Okay, VSC
and
we're going green. Maintain positive delta until the green flags.
We get through the corners all right, and we did not get down to speed. I was just stopping on the brakes there to get to a positive delta before the VSC ended, but we are unsuccessful there. So now we have a drive-through penalty on top of needing to pit for a new front wing and having spun earlier in the race. Nice and easy into the pit lane. And yeah, so not what we wanted here, as we were fighting for a good finish, just trying to keep the car intact, and now we're just having problem after problem after problem. Slow on the front wing there, and now we will also have to serve a drive-through penalty as well, and the pit road spits us out really weird. We have to back up. We do get plenty of heat in those back tires though. So we make it. Luckily there's a runoff there. It did not further damage the car. However, see there, the front tires are very cold and the back tires are quite up to temperature with that little burnout going backwards. So at this point, we're just hoping for a safety car to really bunch us all back up together. There's not much else that we can do. There's no way that we can run down that those cars in front of us. So just trying to run the best laps we can. And we have cars playing in front of us. I'm not sure why they didn't pit under the last lap, as they probably could have done it under the VSC. However, they are choosing to pit now. And as you can see, we're driving pretty well with no one else around us. However, we are just kind of playing some conservation of the car. We are going to go in on this lap to serve that drive-through penalty, and we have lost a gear in the gearbox. And as you can see there, it is 4th gear. Just a simple drive-through penalty here. And really unfortunate circumstances. If you go back and watch that sequence of events, I was accelerating off the corner. I didn't realize I was so negative on the delta and was stomping down the brakes, and then it ended right after that. So we do better getting out of the pits there, and do not have to use the runoff area. But with the spin, the pit stop, with the longer wing change, along with breaking off our front wing completely, we are quite far behind everybody else. So there's no fix on the gearbox at this point. So luckily it's 4th gear and not like a 1st, 2nd, or 3rd gear. Those are super important around this track, especially through the slow speed stuff. But it is out of the rotation for now, but we'll work with it. It's definitely not helping us catch up at all, and yeah, just trying to run consistently, hoping for a safety car, and we keep moving. About halfway through the race now, and we have a Mercedes coming up behind us here. So likely to see the blue flags here soon, unless they pit, and it does not. Well, I guess he's not to the pit lane yet. Does not look like he's pitting, and he actually is. So we won't see the blue flags yet, but likely to see them in the near future here. Almost bad news for us there again in turn 2, but nothing too serious there. And we continue to move. As we're not driving terribly. We do have 4th gear back now. We can hear it. That was my first that was back, as I could hear the smoother shifting from 3rd to 5th. Our teammate is in the pits, just showing you how far behind we are. But going through the castle section once again, just trying to make something happen, hoping for the safety car, because the VSC will not group everybody up. If we get a safety car, we might be able to make up some spots. Because again, we're not the worst car in terms of on paper pace, but we are still at towards the lower end. So that's our only hope at this point. So going into what is to be 5 laps to go here. 1.1 seconds off our best lap time that lap. Charles Leclerc sets the fastest lap. I want to say that was just 6 seconds faster than our best lap. I'd have to go back and look, but I'm pretty sure that's what it said. Which is just absolutely insane. And it shows how slow we are, especially compared to the leaders of the game right now. So weaving our way through a huge snap of oversteer there. Not great for us there. And if you look at the mini-map, the leaders are on their way. Everyone has made their pit stops. More oversteer there for whatever reason. I'm not sure why. We were all of a sudden getting some oversteer. We even go into the menus here to check some tires once we get through the castle section, but to no avail. They look fine, and just getting oversteer for some reason. So and the leaders are very quickly starting to catch us. I'm guessing next lap we will have the blue flags upon us. So it looks like Stroll also had some damage during our little battle there, probably induced by us, and rightfully so. We should be blamed. However, it does look like it kind of ruined his race, but it does allow our teammates to move up into 20th. And okay, so the leaders are running just under a 145. We're just running a tad over a 150, so they're about 5 seconds a lap faster than us right now. Really 6 by the time you consider that the 150 is our best lap and not what we're currently running. So the leaders are right on us and into the worst section to have them right on our tail with no real good place to allow them through. But they do give us the blue flag through here, and I'm just trying to think of a way to let them by. Go wide through this corner and then cut to the inside, slow way down as Verstappen chases after Leclerc. Get back on the gas there, and we let Norris by as well. We have another car to let by, and that blue flag kind of distracted us, and as we have to let Russell by, caused us to damage the front wing again. But we're not going to try to make any pit stops with that. Just going to kind of tough it out and make it to the end of the race. We only have 2 more laps here as we were just lapped.
56.8 seconds.
And we've got another group of leaders coming up here behind us. More oversteer there, but honestly kind of a good thing that
Blue flag, blue flag.
the race is almost over for us as we have struggled. We just choose to let the leaders by on that straight. No sense in waiting for the castle section again, where they likely would have given us the blue flag, as that was just chaos. Yeah, we kind of do it on our own terms. We're not racing anybody, and so just make the wise move. We already damaged our front wing once because of it, and at this point we're just kind of logging laps. So likely going to have to give up a few more positions, but not quite yet. Not with the castle section in play there. Likely to be on the fast-paced section that we have to let them by, and being careful to make it through that corner cleanly this time. But we slightly overdrive that corner, not as bad as I thought we had, and we keep moving. You can see that Stroll is gaining quite quickly on Magnussen. He was 10 seconds back at one point, and now it looks like he's only about 8. I believe it's Alonso who is back behind us here. Stroll's teammate, who's about to pass us under blue flag conditions. We get through this corner, stick to the inside, and keep our speed low. Accelerating off the corner. I guess it's good practice for real blue flags, though I'm not sure it would be this easy if I was in the middle of battle with somebody else, but we are now letting everybody by quite nicely after having a bit of a hiccup with the leaders first time in the castle section. We get the blue flag again entering the castle section, and no good place to do it here, and we decide to run wide. We tap the wall there a little bit as we let the last of the leaders by. Again, this is our last lap of the Grand Prix, and Albon is in 10th in that Williams. We tap that wall again. Thankfully it's the last lap though. And Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix once again. He's as dominant as he is in real life, and it's sometimes saddening to see. However, I quite enjoy watching him for his racing style, and he's quite funny to listen to. So,
Okay, pick up
yeah, not the result that we wanted. However, we did get some good racing in. So, Sergio Perez gets driver of the day as we move on to some of the claim stuff. And we move up to level 6, which is good for the sponsors. We do get the sponsor bonus there. And that brings us back to the main menu, guys. So, off to Miami for the next race. And, yeah, we have 1,600 resource points in the bank, which we'll have to use up next episode to start getting some of those major developments in. We also need to change out some of our vehicle components. So, also a very quick turnaround if you're looking at the left side of the screen to Miami. Only 3 days there. So, that's going to wrap this one up, guys. Again, sorry about the missing audio. For whatever reason, it didn't pick up my normal mic, but it's all good. We figured it out, and we move on. So yeah, have you guys a great rest of your day, and we will see you in the next one.